Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Boom, baby, boom! Check it out. We still have cold weathers and storms. If you haven't seen the hands in the Finland, your boy Marky Saint is on the case. I'm finally back on my show. I can speak freely. I finally got my closure from my ex girlfriend, and she's obviously watching the show. And thank you for telling me how you really feel. You know, apparently I'm a big old piece of shit. That's what's happening. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I don't get on this show pretending that I'm all the way a saint. This is mostly saints. There's a bit of some horns on my halo, and unfortunately, that's how it was made. Um, do I find that as an excuse to not have a child? I don't. And unfortunately, you don't have any authority on my show. I've been waiting patiently to have a conversation with my ex. She ended up not giving it to me. She ended up writing me an email instead, blowing me off per usual. And now I'm having this conversation by myself, and I finally got the closure that I was looking for. It wasn't exactly what I thought it would be, but similar to what I thought it would be. And it goes down to me. I'm the piece of shit. I'm the piece of shit that took her to the Yosemite. I'm the piece of shit that took her to my events with me. I'm the piece of shit that kept flying her back in and out, spending money on her and taking her to dinners. But all that will be negated because of the way that I treat people. Now, I'm in a house that I couldn't even sleep in. It's finally getting clean because of methamphetamines. Everybody was up late last night rearranging all my personal things. All my stuff was right here, nice and comfortable. Now it's over here, moved around. Little did I know that my whole world would be turned upside down. This is part of my therapy, I guess, because I can't afford a therapist. My ex gets to just talk about me bad with the therapist, but she doesn't get to tell the full truth. And that's what I loved about doing this show is I could call myself out with my show. I could call myself out on my own bullshit, and I'm calling bullshit again because I don't walk around hurting people without an excuse. Okay? I don't know how you justify how you were treated, and maybe that's enough reason to kill a baby, and maybe you don't process that you literally ripped apart a fetus and you waited to the last minute, and maybe you don't process the fact that you have an ex-husband and kids that you didn't even have custody over, and you're over here trying to protect them, but you won't protect your own baby. It's asinine to me. It's fucking making my shit mental, so I have to go on my show because it's my show. I created a show talking about mental health, and I've always wanted my own mental health. And then I start stating I break my rules of dating single mothers because there's just so much drama. Most of them have baby daddy drama that I have to fucking endure, even though I didn't start it. I didn't think it was the most funnest experience pulling up to her house with millions of people staying in San Francisco, and her husband pulled away from the house, her ex-husband, or probably still her husband, who knows. These are the things that end up happening, and then I find out towards the end finally that I don't get to have a child because I'm a piece of shit, and I treat people like shit. And here's back to what that Norway girl says. Like, I don't like the way you talk to me when you don't get the way what you want, and it's true. I am not. Go ahead. Thank you. Never an airplane in the sky, but right now there's the plane, and yeah, I would say there's no lie to that. There's just nothing but truth and facts to it. I don't like people that don't like me. You know, I don't like people that say separate businesses. When I brought her to the Magic Convention, well, she'll never go back again. Doesn't have the credentials, and I'm talking my way or talking her into coming and get her a badge and show her the world of fashion because fashion was her passion too, or supposedly be was her passion. Um, that's what ends up happening. I don't get to stop my life because someone treats me like shit. I don't get to stop my hustle because someone else wants separate businesses. I don't get the luxury of just saying, oh, let's delete a baby, let's delete a relationship fuck it. Look, we're not gonna work on anything. We're just gonna be Miss. I don't like it. Swipe. I don't like it. Swipe. So already she's divorced, which leads me up to about a 70% chance of divorce rate, and she divorced me as well. Shocker. She wanted me to be a loving, leading example to her children, and she couldn't be that to her own children. They're asking me to be saintly, but they're throwing me shit. I'm sitting here going like, how am I going to be saintly when you're calling me names? I don't find that saintly. I don't think that's a cool starting point or what I deserve, or actually accountability that I was looking for in the conversation that I never got was like, you do the same shit, man. You would treat me like shit too, dude. Like, you can't be serious. I don't go out of my way to fuck with people. I don't find it that much fun to have that drama. Now, to the extent of the way I treated my ex-best friend, the super weirdo that all my friends thought were a fucking serial killer and I shouldn't hang out with them, I hung out with. I hung out with the nerdy guy. I hung out with the fucking guy because I found that we had some brotherly things going on. But what we didn't have going on, and I couldn't follow him any further, was religion. I wasn't going to follow him and start believing in Jesus because it felt right, or maybe that was my perspective. I'm not that kind of person. I don't put my shit on motorcycles going by me when they should just fuck off into the. You hear it? As soon as I start the show. Yeah, so that's it, isn't it? I can see the guy on the blower right now making all the noise just right down the thing. Let me get a bong rip, please. So that's what it's come down to. I'm the big piece of shit. I'm the one that's never done right by anybody in their lives. I've been abusive to my siblings. I own up to it. I didn't just learn that shit, y'all. It was experienced by me. It was my father with the backhand and the clap back and the you can get your ass smacked behavior. I was taught that if you fuck with people, they can fuck with you. Might equals right, and I've done really a lot of hard work to not be that way. I get no credit for quitting my addictions. I get no credit for stepping up, and showing up. None of that's enough. No matter what, they get to sit back and go, "Oh yeah, you're that way," but no one says the way that they were to get me that way. Do you get what I mean? There's no way in hell that I just go out of nowhere and start pushing pregnant women out of my bed if they weren't still talking about their ex. Now I'll wait and let you judge me. I'll wait and say, "Oh my God, she was 4 weeks pregnant and you scooted her." Didn't fucking full on kick her like a horse. Just scooted her ass off the bed and told her about 5 minutes before that happened, "Don't talk about your ex in my bed. I'm serious." And I'm the habitual line stepper where she's like, "I don't want you putting all my business out there." She thinks the show's about her. I've asked multiple people, "Do you think this show's about my ex?" And they go, "No, just you processing what your ex did to you." But if you let her say it, she'll be magnificent. It would be just like, "I've done all the work. You haven't done any work." And it was just like, "You're right. I haven't paid a psychologist to talk to you about this. All I've had was my show and my own thoughts in my head." And finally, I get this morning to myself. All night long, my friends stayed up on meth and played loud music and didn't go to sleep. And now I finally got some sleep. I'm trying to get myself on a regular sleep schedule. I'm the only one around here that cleans. Though his friend came around, I'm the only one that lives here that cleans. I'm the only one around here that doesn't do meth. I'm the only one around here that doesn't drink. And I'm saying the only one, except for my other friend who flips out in his own way. If you want to call it abuse, he was like, "Take that post down." He was freaking out like I give away the nuclear codes and shit. Like, I got people that got anxiety. We all have trauma. We all have drama. And she says that just because you experience trauma doesn't mean I can take that out on anyone. And my point to that is same bitch, same. Same bitch, same. You know, you're not the only one that's created drama. You're not the only one that has to suffer from drama and trauma, and you're not the only one that's culpable. I'm not the only one in it. That's the thing. Is like they want to put it on me. You treated me like shit, and it was just like you didn't exactly treat me like a king burger either, bro. Real talk. Let's go. Since the moment I met you, you walked away from your responsibilities. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's your way of doing is running away from the phone calls that we were supposed to have, deleting your baby and not telling your parents. You never took accountability for what you did. I'm always on my show sitting here going, I'm abusive to my siblings. I learned it from, and I'm not going to even say that, but I've been abused as a kid. Therefore, apparently I learned it as a kid. And apparently I treat everybody like shit. And that's why I have more friends than you. I get to go to be with my friends. They're welcoming this asshole. They're welcoming this guy that has a loud mouth, you built a platform, built a brand, and it's not successful. I'm penniless. I'm not gonna sit here and go, my shit don't stink, bro. I don't like people abusing me. Case in point, the other day, the girl came in here, started talking a gang of shit, causing trouble in this house. And I said, "Fuck you, you're a piece of shit." And I've even called my mom a piece of shit when she called the cops on me at the day I got out of jail. And I didn't even do anything to her. This is the thing. If I was arguing with my mom, I'd sit here and go, "Yeah, I was yelling at my mom, da 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 da." No, I was just looking for my title to my car so I could go get my car. But the best friend that I broke up with gave the title to the DMV, and I went through a whole lot of shit all the way to Arizona because he didn't even tell me that. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm getting rid of the weak, y'all. I'm getting rid of the meek and the people that don't support me and my vision. It's a lot to have had a chance to have a baby with somebody that I was in love with. I'm like, I feel so stupid right now that I was thinking maybe we would get back together, maybe we'd fix it. Nobody wants to fix shit. They want to shift blame. They don't want to have any ownership of it. So to the end of it was just a push that this is on you, Saint. It's all on you. It's the way that you treat people. Well, I haven't treated all these people that bad the whole time. I haven't been so bad that I get to feed the homeless. I've done my deep dive. Am I a psychopath? Am I what was the other word? Sociopath. Am I a narcissist? Am I a narcissist? And in all spectrums, I've learned that we all have narcissistic ways. We all have our perspective, and we all have self interest in mind. Right. That being said, to the detriment of other people around me, I've never once pushed one person down so I could get up. This has all just been about me getting up myself, inside myself, competing with well the weather because that shit's been fucking crazy, but been competing with life, and in my life's journey, it hasn't been easy. I haven't been exactly given a rose covered path. It's not been a yellow brick road to the Wizard of Oz. It's been a lot of shit, and mostly self-inflicted. Like no one else can say, "Oh yeah, they've been to South Korean prison," and most people would say, "Oh, you deserved it. You should have known the laws." I hear that a lot, especially in the comments and on my video, and I went like, 3 grams, dude. My own personal use. You think I deserve 5 years in prison because I had 3 grams on me? Now, if I had told you that I made a life decision to smuggle a kilo or 2 kilos, that's the same equivalent to them in South Korea. Is this much? Is this much? Is this much? They have no standardization of punishment. If you're using anything that they consider a drug, then now that they have a medical law, and then they don't consider it a drug all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. I'm this bad person that just super smuggler with my 3 grams of weed and my Pablo Escobar being able to, they pulled me over this January in my car with a half ounce of weed and a half ounce of mushrooms, getting over my own depression, healing myself without a therapist. They called me Pablo Escobar. And of course, all 4 felony counts turned down to no felony, and now I only have a misdemeanor, and it'll disappear off my record in a couple of years. All I have to do is feed the homeless, which I've been doing, and no fines, case dismissed, get your money back. I guess I didn't do that much wrong, did I? I guess I wasn't worth having two cop cars pull me over, tow my car, thousands of dollars, three different jails because I'm such a bad human being. I love that people think that because I was federally arrested off of an airplane that I was public enemy number one when it was just a registration ticket. It was a $280 registration ticket that also got dismissed. Them coming in and harassing me in my business, and I'm such a bad human being that I already had my business license. I already had purchased all the different taxes, and I had to purchase the lights, the exit lights. I wasn't the first tenant there, but apparently I was the first tenant to put a battery in the exit light. That was another $50 or whatever it is, that I had no involvement with whatsoever, right? All of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. So case dismissed, no counts, not a felon, none of those things had stuck to me. I'm literally sitting on the opposite end of January where it finally got dismissed. They didn't ask permission to search my bag. He said he saw my plate from his rear view mirror in the dark while I was taking a left and he was taking a right, which is almost physically impossible. They went and checked the body cams, right, to go look at it. And by the way, this isn't all about my ex. This is just life in general, where they checked the body cams and theirs were mysteriously deleted, but the other cop's body cam showed that no one asked permission to check my bag, which they're supposed to, and that's why the case got so dismissed, is because it is a small amount of weed. Small amount of weed, 3 grams in South Korea. Small amount of weed, it's legal. My half ounce got tossed out of the paperwork. They don't want to look at the mushrooms, but it's such a small amount. They know that I'm not a drug dealer, that they know that I got pulled over for fictitious reasons. I got searched without permission, and therefore I just went through the shit pipe. I got to endure it. It scars me a little bit as a human being to be in prison multiple times and to not be this like shiny human being, I guess, that people wish me to be, with the last name Saint. I'm supposed to walk on water. I'm supposed to let my ex call me names and not defend myself. I'm supposed to take on her children and love them as if they were mine, spend my time, my energy, and my resources on children that aren't mine. Meanwhile, she can kill our child and not treat it with the love that she wants me to treat her children. And apparently, it's all about her children in the future, and talking about them being abused. Me mentioning them as me abusing them here on social media, even though I don't know their names and I don't use their names and I don't even use her name. I'm still this abusive person. I'm not supposed to share my opinions. And then there was like some kind of form of control. Well, it's not your show. This is my show. You're more than welcome to start your own show. Go ahead, build up your own platform and try to get 1,000 subscribers and do it that way. No, I live in this world where I get people to tell me how bad I am. By the way, I don't get to call her names. I don't sit here and badmouth her and go, "Oh yeah, well you're abusive too." Name calling is a form of abuse. So is stonewalling. So is projection. So is a lot of the things that have happened that she's done to me that I didn't think were possible. I gotta block this person again for the 50 millionth time before the last 5 messages. Just block. We deserve to be in separate kennels because of the I'm not going to let you trigger me or react with anger and lose my cool. Exactly what she does on a regular basis. So it's like one of those things where I thought for sure she was going to show some sympathy and go, yes, I was depressed. Yes, I didn't take my prenatal vitamins. Yes, I kept drinking coffee. Yes, I did lie to my parents. Yes, I did lie about my custody. You told me that you were seeing a psychologist because you were working on you. You didn't tell me that it was court appointed. And you didn't tell me why you had such postpartum depression with your other child. And you get all these secrets because that's one way. That's a form of narcissism, is to keep yourself in the good light and be like, oh yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't destroy my last family. I didn't destroy this next family. I have no hand in it whatsoever. It was all you. It wasn't me calling you names. It wasn't me walking away. It wasn't me having my own divorce trauma. I didn't have divorce trauma. I'm not divorced. I don't have any of that shit that I bring to somebody and be like, look at all my trauma. I need you to deal with it. I don't bring any of that to it. Instead, I bring this guy that's extremely passionate, put a fuck ton of work into it. his life to make it the way that it is, and to be able to sit here and go, I'm sober, dude. I didn't even fucking relapse. I'm not on any of my excuses. I'm not on meth. I'm not on amphetamines. I'm not on steroids. I'm not on alcohol. I'm not on cocaine. And multiple times I could have easily been on any of those drugs, had just bitched out and just said, hey, I need a little reprieve. No one's watching. Let me snort a little bit. Let me drink a little bit. Each time that I've done that, and like when I blacked out and I relapsed in Brazil, I lost my wallet, I lost my bag, or no, I thought I lost my wallet, end up losing my cell phone, end up losing my mind and hurting myself just because I wanted a wild night with my friends. I end up blacking out. So I'm no good to even myself when it comes to self abuse and relapse and any of those other things. But I've still maintained my diet. I still maintain my show. I still maintain my dream with all the things that have been handed to me, not having any money, not having any love or someone to love in my life. I've yet to harmed anyone that didn't have it coming. You know what I mean? Like I literally, just like Dave Chappelle said with his kid, why'd you do that? Dad, she had it coming. Like I'm literally could be the asshole that says, "Yeah, man, I dodged a bullet, single mama drama." Everything that I watch in the red pill is don't date single moms. You'll get attached to the kids and they'll make you leave them. All your resources go to children that aren't yours. You have to unpack all their emotional baggage and the baggage that they came with. She had a tough time admitting that her kids were baggage. She wanted them to be the only kids that had sunshine out of their eyes out of the millions of children that are out there. You don't see that that's an extra responsibility on me that I didn't generate. But she wanted me to do that. She wanted me to step up and raise her children as well as step up and be a father. And I stepped up and I showed up and I ended up showing out because I didn't like her calling me names. I didn't like her mom saying that it was too soon or that it was her body. I didn't like that these women can sit here and kill 5-month-old babies without any accountability whatsoever. It's just like, I felt like you treated me like shit. So therefore, I threw out a baby. And there's an old phrase that says, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, is because no one is perfect. That's why I called it Saint's Addiction. My whole theme was to turn negatives into positives. She couldn't do that. She could only stay in the negative. And I waited for her to apologize. I've yet to have an apology that I killed your firstborn baby, the one that you wanted, the one that would have made your family happy. She talks about family a lot and her family and how she doesn't want to put them through trauma. She doesn't want to mind that she put my mom through an extreme amount of trauma. The look on my mom's face, me not being able to talk to my father after I told him that we were pregnant. I told the truth. And I'll continue to tell the truth. When people ask me what happened to me and the baby, is like, I killed my baby. I never put it on you. I don't know what kind of show you're watching because I know you're going to watch this show, but I never put it on you. I always put it on me. And then today, especially when you put it back on me and say, you treated me like shit, I'm just thinking like, you put me through so much shit. And I'm like, wow, it wasn't shit when I was taking you to the resort world and taking you on nice dinners. It wasn't shit when I was making love to you and we both made consensual love. And when we had that baby, multiple times, by the way, but when we had that baby, I wasn't treating you like shit then. I remember I wasn't treating you like shit when we went to the mansion party in Halloween, but you still found a way to argue with me, and I was just sick of it. I'm like, find your own way home, dude. You're just not a ball of sunshine. So for me to sit here and go, I'm not culpable for any of the times that I've been in jail. Whether they be legal or not, whether I feel like the law was justified or the reason was okay, I still have to do the time. If you do the crime, you do the time. Anywhere else in the world, there's no delete button for things. You don't get to just say, "Oh, well, this is inconvenient for me." So I'm sorry. I broke into. I stole from the bank and I robbed the bank, but I'm really sorry, Your Honor. I really don't want to do those 9 to 10, 20 years of hardcore federal penitentiary time. Please let me go. I've learned my lesson. Let's delete what I've done, and therefore I don't have to do the time because I did the crime. And that's what it is. Is like, you did the crime. You just don't want to do the time. You don't want to do the time of working out with someone with their warts and all, expecting other people to just bring you a family and an opportunity of love, and then that's going to just fix all the things that you brought to me before I even met you, and I'm supposed to just like walk away from it and just be like, oh yeah, that's my car accident too. We're all car accidents. Not one of us is going to slide into this grave without some scars and some wrecks on the side of our cars. Everyone that I, especially when I really talk about trauma with other people, is like we're all going through some shit. We're gonna get naturally and things that we caused ourselves. One of the things would be like you're gonna go through the loss of your parents. That's gonna come naturally. Hopefully, you don't have to go through the loss of your child. That's not very natural. And for her to sit there and just go, yeah, you treated me like shit, disavows all the times that we had doing good stuff, cool stuff, and that I got her out of the house, away from San Francisco, towards places like Yosemite and the Grand Canyon, and showing her a good time. None of those times she was beaten when I was buying her dinner, and no point was I clenching my fist and trying to hit her. The only times she, even one time when we were at in the Grand Canyon, Arizona, when she was telling me it is separate businesses and reinforcing the abuse cycle, and that if I was married to this person would constantly take a dig on me and make me feel inferior instead of superior, or build me up and get me to go. Instead, they wanted to chin check my ego, bring me down a notch, tell me about myself, and then come up with things that weren't really even my things. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard thing, is to own up to things when it's like, wait a minute, you're the one that I didn't say shit to. I was ready to break up with in the Grand Canyon. Like, okay, ain't the chick. And now all of a sudden you're gonna be like, your shit don't stink. And I'm like, that's not cool. For me, as a person, I admit my failures. I sit here on a public platform that I don't even have to do. Anybody can watch and just go, I'm perfectly imperfect, bro. Just like you, just like anyone else, and I'm accountable for my mistakes, but you're not accountable for yours, and that's hard for me. You know, I'm not sitting here slanging words and bad mouthing you or anything like that. I'm saying you're culpable, dude. You were there when we came up with the plans to break into the bank. You have to do your time too, dude. It's not just me. And other people will talk about rats and ratting out people, so you take one for the team. I had to take one for the team. Not only do I lose my child and sit here in agony over something that I thought was such perfect timing with the perfect person, I get up this morning and I realize that wasn't the perfect person. She was perfectly imperfect too. She came with a load of baggage. She came with a load of trauma. She came with her lies as well. And I sit here and I go, fuck, man. You know, I'm not going to get any perfect girl soon. I'm trying to date someone and that left for Spain without saying goodbye. We were supposed to meet up and play frisbee. Every time she sends me a selfie, she has a drink in her hand. And I'm like, that ain't it either. You know, I live in this world where I'm like, that ain't it. Drugs ain't it. Running away ain't it. Not facing it ain't it. You know, I'm sitting here still trying to call my dad and tell him that I love him, and even though I can't even look him in the eyes or tell him that, you know, because of the way you raised me, and me being just like you, that we are both with grandchildless and sonless, because of my attitude, and I have to live with that, and I have to live with me being this way this whole time. I've already gone through the depths of hell. It's like I'm the worst person. I must not be a sociopath, but I still have empathy and I still have these feelings. And inside of me, I feel a certain type of way. And I'm like, you know, I don't feel any. She says she got no ill will towards me, but man, does she like to slay me and get angry real quick and just go, you're the way I can outlet my anger. And I'm like, dude, take it to the gym. Take it to the forest like I have to, you know, take it to different countries. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking myself to the edge of the world in New Zealand so I can bury this past and stop living in the past for the last 2 years, beating myself up over what went wrong or people that treated me wrong or things that went wrong. I still have to move forward. And that's what's so weird. It's like everybody gets wrong. And at what point, in multiple points in your life, shit, you might have gone right. And like, I'll never forget, like, it was in like Miramar, and I did all my paperwork right, but the person didn't understand that I had multiple reentries and they fucked up my visa. Now I was on a 2 week system instead of a fresh another set of 3 months. And it's nothing that I did. I went to the border, I was on time, I paid the fine, but someone did something with the paperwork, and therefore it fucked up my visa. Do I get a bitch and moan forever that these things happen? No. Do they care that I got towed, even though my all my cases were dismissed? Do they care that my car got towed? No. You still have to pay the $1,000 fine. You still have to take this abortion on the chin. You still have to live with yourself and make a life for yourself without someone that has children, without somebody that brings you grief and drama and trauma, without somebody that evokes that. I needed to find someone that was bringing me peace. And the person that I met wasn't at peace. She was at war, and she doesn't want to admit every time that I was cool, calm, and collected. My life was together. I had some money together. I was working my business. I was showing up to my events. I was executing my plans. And then I go into her world, and it was just like, oh, you're in a separate business. Got you. Well, how come your separate business didn't get yourself a pass to come into Magic Convention? Why didn't your separate business sit there for 10 years straight so that way you can have an EIN number and say that you actually have a business? Oh, you don't even have a business card. And it was something like that for someone that didn't have a business card. When I was handing someone a business card and they were trying to do their own side deal, and it was like, she's like, you guys together? Oh, no, separate businesses. And I just walked around. I'll never forget Magic. I was so confused. I'm like, who is this person? If she's not with me, then she's against me. And it's obviously that we are against each other because we keep fighting. And she didn't even want to give me um, the respect to have this conversation. Love a saint today. Thank you, bro. I haven't been loving myself very much lately. It's still raining like a motherfucker out here. It's drenched all last night. It was super drenched, and it's like kind of fucking up my workouts. And it's I want to get out there and get something going, but this is what ended up happening. I'm not a saint. I'm gonna put it out there. That's what Saints Addiction was all about. Was like I have many flaws that hurt, and that my flaws are so bad that I didn't get to be a father hurts the worst. And yeah, I mean, my empathy for scaring her and scaring a woman is not only shame for me and my guilt that I'm so bad as a person and so abusive that I scared a 5 month pregnant woman into an early abortion. That I don't know. I keep thinking to myself, if she had came to Brazil, she would have access to abortion and she would have got vacation with me. They don't really mention those things that we could have built on our relationship. That's when you date single moms that you can't just be like, hey, let's go somewhere for the weekend. You have to negotiate her children's schedule, and that she couldn't break free. She couldn't follow me to Brazil and come live the life that I live and come be with me, and we could find love and healing together. No, it was her still sitting in San Francisco, still being cold, still, not showering, not shaving, going into depression, doing whatever the fuck she wants. And then, of course, me coming back just reinforced it even more. She kept picking everything apart. Like, I stopped to kiss her when I came from the airport. It wasn't enough. I've taken her to really nice restaurants, roller rinks, and real dates. Like, would kill for a real date. I've taken her there. I solidified what could have been a one night stand at a festival. And I didn't think that we were going to, keep it continually going. But apparently, my piece of shit self, the guy that's such an asshole, the one that she couldn't stand, is the one reason she can't drive all the way to San Francisco to be back with me with a box full of condoms and an anal plug. But you got the sex out of a saint. You got that clean dick. You got to get to make love, have orgasms, be free, have meals made for you in your bed. I would do breakfast in bed. I constantly made sure that things were, but it wasn't enough. I remember one time when we just spent the whole weekend kind of inside because I was just recharging, and then I went with my friend. At the time, we were just outside of the event, and we got chewed out because she's like, oh, Mr. Social, now you're going and doing events. I'm like, all we did was smoke joints and did dabs outside of an event. Like, we were just walking around. It wasn't even an event. We were outside of the event. But I got criticized for that. I got criticized for having fun with my friends, and it started to leak in on me the amount of narcissism. I'll go for an hour with this thing right here. Don't let the weather dampen your mood. Shit, right now it's my ex dampening my mood. We were supposed to have the conversation last night. I waited up till fucking past 10 when we were supposed to have the conversation, past 12, past 1, and then about 3 o'clock this morning, I get the message. But she didn't let me She didn't say anything. She didn't email me say, I'm not going to be calling you today. I'm canceling our, the responsible thing, because we haven't talked in over 2 years. And it's like, I'm never going to get closure. I'm never going to have this conversation with this person. This person's always going to get mad, amped, and anger towards me. And I'm sitting here going like, I don't get to be angry. You get to be angry that I'm not perfect, but I don't get to be angry to you that you're not perfect, that you killed a child, dude, your own child, despite me, because I'm not the one. But your mom could have you at 15 years old, and she didn't have a steady relationship either, and she's from Mexico, come all the way across the border, and yet she didn't find any excuses. And then I live in the red pill world where women, all they want to do is bitch and moan, but they want someone else to take the responsibility of their decisions, and I'm the only one that gets to be accountable for my decisions. If it happens, now I'm on my show literally talking about abortion for the last 2 years. I'm supposed to be the morning motivator, and I've been crying and depressed and battling through my own shit, and at the same time other people get to fucking have a family to roll back on, or a therapist to talk to, or why do you even watch my show? That was another thing that was in my head. It was like, if I'm such an asshole, if I'm such a piece of shit, why are you watching my show? And since I don't know your children's name and they're not under threat, and I specifically told people, killing another baby or killing her children or hurting her children at all wouldn't save my child or bring my child back. So I have this extreme amount of love for a child that never happened. I have an extreme amount of love for the connection that we had. Sometimes she wants me to mention like how important she was to me and how much I loved her. And at the same time, all that gets diminished because you're a murderer, dude. Like, you're a liar, and you're out for yourself. And it's like, separate businesses. Boom, first red flag that you're out for yourself. Boom, you're a murderer. You murdered your last family through divorce, and then you actually murdered your actual own baby that was inside you. We could have done multiple things. So what? We don't get along. I don't have that luxury. I don't know if many of you ever had a job, but I'm sure you went to a job and somebody that you worked with wasn't on your fan club, wasn't your favorite person, wasn't your style of person. Maybe you're a Democrat, maybe they're a Republican, maybe they talk too much shit. I got friends here, they fight with each other and still hang out with each other and still talk shit about each other. It's weird, but it's like they're all they got. And when you got all that you got, you don't get many chance to rotate other motherfuckers. You feel me on that? I'm thinking right now of a friend, completely separate incidents, that just called me and said, man, you're like a brother to me. I'm sorry I haven't called you or talked to you. I've just been depressed. I've been going through this divorce, and I started drinking. I picked up a meth habit, and that's why I haven't called you. And I was just like, whoa, that's real. That's my friend. Haven't talked to in 2 years. Similar like this relationship. It's been 2 years of darkness, and then my buddy comes out of the darkness and said, this is what happens to me. It's hard for me to call you saint because you're always like, rise and shine, and I'm over here like depressed as fuck with my hands down my pants. I'm here to reach all the people. I've been both. My journey wouldn't have ever taken off if I didn't escape from my depression and started traveling. And not that I've done very well at escaping the depression. It still hovers over my head. But I don't have any dread. I still find a way to get to the gym, and I'm looking outside, and I'm going, maybe this is the day I got to pull a Rocky and just be outside and just push those weights off me. And I'm the one that's been staying on my diet and not eating till 3. No one else has to maintain that for me. I'm one of the people that cleaned around this house, that lives here. Thankfully, she got every cabinet, bro, and every fucking thing got removed. Everything got wiped down, mopped, and cleaned. Shout out to her. And she made us a dinner too. So it's one of those things that I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one that gets depressed. I'm not the only one that's been to prison. I'm not the only one that has sadness or has had an abortion. I'm just saying, I think I'm the only one that's willing to grin and bear it. Like, if I get thrown South Korea in prison, I have to grin and bear that. I don't just get to go, oh, that's just my life. Let me blame other people. No, never blamed anyone, and lost some friends over it too, or people that were supposed to be my friends. The people that I was sending the weed to that were like, I love you, Saint. Thank you so much for the weed. You're the fucking man. By the time I showed up, Crickets. Never heard from these people again. And that's the true story of it. I took one for the team. I take this abortion for the team. I take the prison for the team, but I'm not the only one culpable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to rat them out, but I'm not the only one that was in on the case. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't just the mastermind of breaking into the bank. There were other cohorts and co-conspirators in my situation, and they don't want to step up or take away any of my pain or my time. They could say, hey, yo, you know what? I was calling him names before we started arguing. You know, yeah. No one's gonna come in and come save that situation. They're not gonna come in and call themselves out and be like, "Oh shit, he did have a business. He does and did have a business license when this all started." But the judge will be like, "I think you and your mom will lie for each other, and you always will have each other's back. $1,000 fine. Case dismissed later." But no one's going to admit that they came in and harassed me unless I have that video on YouTube with 500,000 views, because that's what happened. Like, I still sound like an idiot on my 500,000 videos, and I didn't put my face on it because it's not about narcissism, it's about exposure. And I'm sitting there going like, oh shit, dude, I could have gone viral. People would have 500,000 people would have saw my face and da 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 da. I'm not worried about any of that shit. None of that shit matters to me. Matter of fact, I don't even really calculate who gets to watch my show, where it'll go, who'll dissect it in the future. I know people will do deep fakes and all of a sudden just take my face and my voice and make it sound like I did anything. But if anything in the whole world, it says I dared to be human. I dared to be human, and I dared to go check out my life and see what it would be without any money at the edge of the world, bringing just me, this flawed human being, the one that's still so flawed that he stayed sober, and so flawed that he kept working, and so flawed that I fucking stayed healthy and didn't do anything damaging to me. I didn't fucking cave. I didn't do heroin this last week. I didn't fucking give up on my workouts. I kept doing my push-ups. I kept doing my sit-ups. I kept doing my stretches. I kept on my diet. No one else gets to take that away from me. So no matter what they want to do and throw rocks my way, it wasn't just like I was giving my brother's dead legs. It was because the dishes need to be done. It was his job to do the dishes. And when my parents were around, he's a bit of a cunt. If you ask my brother, he's a coach. He's a businessman, but my brother can be a stone cold dick, bro. Like, my mom needed $400 for a tow to get her car away, and I don't feel comfortable giving my mom any money for a tow. It's just like, what the fuck? This woman gave you life, and you don't feel comfortable? You're a multimillionaire or self-made millionaire. You don't feel comfortable to help your mom out with a car tow? This is what I'm living with, dude. This is like the people that I live with. These are the same folks that disown my grandma and get fake tits and doesn't want to be black at all. Doesn't want to acknowledge that we have black in our family. It's like, no, I'm just gonna hang out with white people and have some white kids with a white dude that already had 2 kids, and you're gonna have 2 kids by him, and now they're both divorced too. And you guys are just a bunch of winners. You're right. It's just you guys. You guys are the saints, and I'm the sinners. You're right. I'm the only one with the halo and the horns. You're just me, right? I don't think so, dude. I'm gonna call bullshit and be like, no, I had a weak ass best friend, and he's not even my best friend anymore. We don't even fucking talk. He wanted to get all Jesus freak on me, and I didn't want to go that direction. I wanted to do faceless porn. And the only reason I'm doing faceless porn is because not only did I have an opportunity and I want to make an income and it's my kink, but it's like, fuck this, dude. If I'm not gonna have any children, I'm going to do the things that I want to do in my life. What's the things that I ever wanted to do in my life? Push everything to the limit. I also want to do calm CBDs. I also want to do motivated juice. I also want to fucking keep traveling and go to other places. Even though I'm on a world journey right now, I didn't see it as a European tour. It just so happened to be that way. I thought it would just bounce, 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 bounce. And next thing I know, I'm going to places I never thought I'd be. Ireland, Scotland, Spain. None of those things. Well, maybe Spain was on the list, but what was the other country? Switzerland. None of those were on the list to go see, but it ended up happening. And it's like, this is part of my journey. I was already a world traveler before I met you. I've already seen the world and spoke multiple languages before I even met these people. And then I still have drama and trauma, whether it be with a single mom or a really hot Russian girlfriend. I've already seen Chernobyl many times. And I think that's part of My charm is that I know that I'm not perfect and that I keep trying to be perfect or put up perfect numbers or never lose a game. And the truth is I've lost a many a game, and I'm very honest about it. I lost in business, I lost at love, and I've lost at life. But I'm the same guy that still graduated college homeless, dude. And whether that be my fault, everybody wants to put the blame on me. I still paid for those credits. I still went to school. I didn't have to keep going to my classes and finishing my theses and putting in all that work. I could have said, "Oh, I'm homeless. That's it. I could give up." And I think that's my charm, is that I just don't give up. I'm sitting here. Last week I wanted to give up, and it was just too much in my mind. But thank you. I can thank my ex for giving me that. In her world, it was just me treating her like shit. Never once did she admit that she kept calling me names and instigating me. And never once did she apologize for killing a baby. Like, she kept it a secret, dude. She kept it a secret from her family. She was lying about it. And she was lying to me about her psychologist and all these things that were like, who are you really? You know what I'm saying? I never really got to know. That's one of the things that I get to go sit here and I wrote a book about who I am really. I really went to the South Korean prison, and it's called The Book and Door. Someone just bought my book recently, thankfully, whoever did that. $10 in my pocket, and maybe $7.99 or something. But after Amazon Kindle takes their cut. But I'm the one that actually went through that experience. I love how people make it about them, but they didn't have to go in the prison with me. And case in point is my ex here from Finland. I finally got to see her 7 years later and talk about the thing, and it bugged her. It bugged her at work, and it was something that really did affect her. And I finally got to talk to her about it, but she didn't spend a day in prison with me. She only had a bad day at work, and she was worried about me, but that's all she got, was worry. She never got any abuse from me. I got plenty of good relationships where she never called me names. I guess I don't want to say her name, but she's here in Finland, but she's fine. We actually have a great relationship still, and I'd love to sit here that all my exes live in Texas and everything went smooth. That's not true either. I have a lot of bumpy roads and broken relationships that just didn't work out. Now, some of them can't say that at all. Some of them, they can't say I've ever. Well, for all of them, can't say that I ever beat them. I never put my hands on a woman. I can at least do that. You know what I mean? I might have pushed the golf cart in the shopping cart in the back of my girlfriend's heels because she was talking shit. But if it wasn't for people waving a red flag in front of the bull, threatening me, calling me names, fucking threatening to kill my baby. Like, if I wanted to deal with a hostage, I don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm not a hostage. I'm not somebody that you can just control and try to control my show. Like she said, I kept my word. I promised. I said I didn't have any of our conversation, or I'm not reading her emails out loud on the show. Like, I could do that because I feel burnt and shit, but that's not what I've done. I've never shared once an email or a voicemail, or I don't even have a voicemail from her to say, oh yeah, this is this and this and that. And it was just like, no, 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 no. I'm not alone in this journey. You know what I mean? It takes two to tango. It took two people to make love and to make a baby. And one of us wanted to take the responsibility of it, and the other one didn't. She's like, oh shit, I don't like my pick. Let me put it back. He's mean to me. He calls me name, or no, what did she say? I treated her like shit. And I want to put back my bad decision. And that's what I've been learning from the red pill movement, is that's all women want to do. They want to undo their bad decisions. They don't want to take accountability that they fell in love and had the sex. They get to delete that. Now, imagine me saying I ate all the cookies, but I don't want to have diabetes. I don't want to be the guy that has high blood pressure. I don't want to be the guy, but I want to be the guy that eats the hamburger, but I don't want to be the guy that has the heart attack. I'm like, wait, what? You know what I mean? I want to be the world traveler, but I don't want to be the guy that goes to prison. I wish that was my case, dude. I wish I could just say, it's easy living this life, having my friends keeping me up at all weird hours and not sleeping because they're on amphetamines but no, I have to take that because I'm in this house. I'm not paying rent. I'm a visitor. I'm a guest. I'm a family member, but that doesn't exclude me from whatever pains come with it. You know what I mean? Like wherever I go, I have to deal with that person, whether it be my friends in England smoking cigarettes right by me when I sleep. They're going through their own divorce. I'm sure you would like to say that that's my fault because I showed up and visited this year. I would think that there's 16 years of marriage and her cheating on her husband to be with him, and now she's cheating on someone else to leave him. Yeah, that's me. No, that's them. That's their life. You know what I mean? Like I had nothing to do with her being abusive to him and being bigger than him and now stealing his child from him. You know, there's a lot of these stories out there where my friends just constantly having to go to the judge and be in front of the court, and how the one got mad. I guess his ex, she left within like 5 minutes. He's like, last time I only lasted 15 minutes. This time she lasted barely 7 minutes without losing her temper, coming outside, swinging on her sister because she thought her sister had gave information to him. And that's what kind of people I'm dealing with. It's the people that are like, oh, I'm the mother, have the children stay with me, I'm going to keep the kids, see you in court. They do that shit, and then at the time they get to court, they're the ones that are swinging on their sister in the fucking parking lot because they felt that her sister had backstabbed her or didn't want to keep up the lie. So I sit here in this world where, I I get the shit into the stick, but apparently I'm the only one with the shit into the stick. No, all the Romans used that sponge on the end of a stick to wipe their ass. They all dipped it in a bucket and tried to wipe their own ass crack with a sponge. We all use the same shit into the stick. And that's what I was really getting at with Saints Addiction was like, I'm not perfect, dude. I'm not. I'm not. I'm full of abuse from my childhood. I got abused. I abused my siblings. I'm full of loss from relationships. Stop dating these single moms. I literally made a rule because it was so bad from the other ones. She never even calculated that I've already been with other single moms, other women that I wasn't arguing with, that they wanted me to be around and be the father to their child. And I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm not hopping into this hot skillet. And there have been plenty of hot skillets. I think the one girl when I was dating the two kids and we were getting along, I remember because she used to pick at herself and I didn't like that about her. When I was helping her out with her plants and got her a bunch of genetics and got her because she was home growing and stuff like that. And then I guess she got tried to go back with her ex and he punched her in the face. And then she had some court order shit and lost custody of her children. I guess that's me, even though I wasn't a part of that. And that happened years after me or whatever. But I found out later that one of my MILF exes, chick with a single mom with kids, ended up getting punched in the face by her ex and losing custody of her kids because they got into it. I don't know. Not my circus, not my monkeys. But I'm telling you right now that the circus is full of monkeys. And I'm not the only one with the ring hat. I'm not just the ringmaster running around, but they're all of us walking around with tragedy, self-imposed tragedy. That's what hurts the most about losing this child is we didn't lose it to a miscarriage. We lost it to an argument. And whether we were grown up enough to fucking handle arguments and handle our responsibilities, or do we just pay our way out, buy abortions, buy therapists, and pretend like it's all on that other person? Sure, dude. I'm the martyr. Put me up on the cross. I've already put the horns on the halo. I've already been baptized. This is why I can be in public and do my shows because I put my shit out there. There's no one that can come from behind me and say, "Oh, you missed one." No, no, no. I didn't miss any. I tell people all the things of the mistakes, the dramas that I've had to endure, and the mistakes that I've made. It's an even scale. It's not like I was like I had that night to get the rest of my shit from my old shop, but I didn't. Nowhere in my head did it say, "Mark, come get the valuable stuff. Get your printer. Get the weed swag bag stuff. Get your smoking review together. Get all this equipment." No, I thought I had another day, and I didn't have another day, and I didn't think it was cool that I was getting federally arrested off of an airplane. But that's what happened too. Did the case get dismissed? Yeah, but I still had to endure that, and that's what's just so funny is like men, we get harsher sentences. We're more susceptible to suicide. There's more societal pressures for us to bring home the bacon than there are for women. And that's what they would want us to do. They want us to be loving. They want us to be providing, but they don't want us to have opinions and they don't want us to have moods. And it was just like, oh, so let me get this straight. You get to have a monthly cycle. You get to have pre and postpartum depression while you're pregnant and after you're pregnant. You get to have excuses, but I'm not allowed to have any excuses. I get to bear all of the brunt, all of it on my shoulders, and that's what it sits, bro. I'm the one that don't have a relationship with my siblings. That's what's just like this is what I have to do. I have to endure whatever comes my way, and that's what I do. I took it upon myself. I basically got my life back. I got my life back minus a child, minus love, minus a wife, something that I thought that I really needed. And then I get other people that I'm the envy of their lives. They're like, man, I wish I could travel the world and do what I dream to do, and make an income while I do it, and travel. And I've never been anywhere. I haven't left the city in 20 years, and I'm looking at them like, fuck, dude, I went to 200 cities this last 5 months. That's what I get. I get the goods and the bads. I get my friends keeping me up, but I get a roof over my head, and I take the good with the bad. I called it mostly saints because it was just like there's no way I'm perfect. I get the last name, but nowhere near as my last name come from perfect people. My my dad's dad was a pedophile, or however you call it. No, what do you call it? Incest, sleeping with my aunts. I don't barely get to know that side of the family. I never met this man, but this happened in my family. And I get to sit here on social media and say, that shit really happened. But I felt that it was to be honest about it, sheds light on it and makes it exposed. So it's like, this stuff doesn't happen again. It's the people that want to lie and keep it under the things, all the dead babies of the Catholic Church. My grandma made a statement. She was like, when they tore down that church, in the basement there was a lot of dead baby bodies, and they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the sins of other people. They rather stay Catholic and appear. That's what I didn't like about religion, is this appearance that things are perfect when you know damn well that the fucking what does the chick say she had, but the pastor's son fucked her in while the church was going. Like, there's perverts everywhere, there's pedophiles everywhere, there's people that do nefarious shit, and I call that shit out. I have no problem talking about the tough topics, dude. I have no problem talking about the abuse that I saw, witnessed, and happened to me as a child. Do most people get in here and talk about their family and talk about their dad being an abusive alcoholic? They probably don't, or their mom being manic depressive and being in the psych ward 4 different times. They probably don't. But after all of that, I still don't hit women. I still try hard. I still fucking somehow manage to have some friends around me, enough for them to let me sleep on couches around the world and make it. I relied on that. I can't rely on my wallet. I'm not some Andrew Tate that has a casino, or some online chat chicks, or whatever the fuck he does to get money from women or solicitate that. No, I'm starting faceless porn because I know people want to have their freak on, and it makes them more excited to be filmed while they're having sex, and sex is a part of life. Now, most of the Catholics or the Christians want to pretend, no, that's not it, but they can get super freaky as soon as they're married. And by the way, most of them turn into swingers. You know what I mean? Like, people are doing shit, and I guess I'm the only one talking about it. That's what this all comes down to, is I'm not the only one. No one is perfect, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that loves having sex and then filming myself get a blowjob or something like that. My ex doesn't have to worry about any of those videos of her, or the images that I have of her topless ever hitting the internet, but she doesn't mention that. She's already like said that I'm a boundary crosser, but I think she crossed a big boundary by killing our baby. And I'm always going to feel that way. I'm always going to feel like that you took the easy way out. You get to fucking just delete babies and lie about it and stay off social media. You do you, boo. I'm doing me, and I feel really foolish to think that me and you could have fixed something, and that me and you had something special. And the truth is you threw special out the window. You don't give a fuck. So therefore, guess what? I guess I don't give a fuck as much. I was the only one bearing the cross. Like, oh man, I missed this perfect woman. She wasn't perfect, and neither was I, and neither will either of us ever will be. And that's the truth of it. So I took that away. That's what the thing said. I'll read it, but then I'll leave it with this. This is something that I saved to do it. I thought it was going to be cool, but I guess not. These were some depression tips, but I won't use that one. But it was Bob Marley once said, "You may not be her first, her last, or her only, Something my dad would say, you're not her first and you're not her last. She loved before and can love again. But if she loves you now, what else matters? She is not perfect, neither are you, and you two will never be perfect. But if she can make you laugh at least once, it makes you think twice. If she admits to being human and making mistakes, do not let her go and give her the best of you. She is not going to recite poetry. She is not thinking about you at all times, but she will give you a part of her that she knows could break her heart. Do not hurt her. Do not change her and do not expect more than she can give you. Do not analyze. Smile when it makes you happy, scream when it makes you angry, and remove it when it is not. Love with your whole being when you receive love, because there are no perfect girls, but there will always be a girl who's perfect for you. Thanks, Bob Marley. I appreciate that. That's my poetry. I'm gonna end with that. But yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I think that's why people watch this show. Is to watch this hero go from zero and try to overcome his weaknesses and I know it's kind of painting me in this hero light, but I tell people you never want to meet your heroes, because when you meet them, you realize that they're flawed like you. You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh man, it's Wayne Gretzky. Oh shit, Wayne Gretzky's got a drinking habit. I don't know if he has a drinking habit. I'm not saying that at all. But it's like, oh yeah, Conor McGregor, but he's got a cocaine habit. I don't know if he's got a cocaine habit, but I know he's on some sauce. And you're just sitting there and you just go, yeah, you'd like to be them, so you got to walk in their shoes. Everybody wants to be a world traveling business person till you got no money, till you've got have an abortion, till you're living out of your car and partly homeless, and I've been homeless and living out of my car. So I've done the show homeless out of my car. I've done the show honest about an abortion. I've done my show because it's my show and no one gets to control the show. I've been given it a couple days because one, my sleep schedule was off and the weather schedule was off and I didn't have Wi-Fi and my friends were around me and I didn't have a free time to speak till now. This is my first time in a week to really get to speak. And of course I get her emails to tell me, how bad I was, but I'm different than her. I don't get to just walk away from bad. I have to deal with it. You know what I mean? And that's what it is I mean, you hand me a shit sandwich and I'm eating it like it's ragu. I'm eating it like it's Michelin rated, because this is what is life. You got to take the good with the bad. You take the good, you take the bad, the facts of life. This is it. And I'm different than her. I don't get to quit. I don't just get to go, oh, I'm in a prison, time to be a piece of shit. No, I kept swinging, and she can call me a piece of shit all she wants, but she fell in love with some part of me. She saw something in me and got love out of me, like we talked, like that poem said with Bob Marley. She got some love out of me, and I loved her the best that I could. And I don't sit here and lightly taking that lightly. Can I say that she loved me back the best she could? No, I thought she kept tapping out. You know what I mean? She walked away from me the first time I met her. Random arguments and keeping them going, never stopping and say, I'm sorry, boo, let's get this worked out. Come on, sit here with me. We got to work this out. Let's have this baby. Not once did that come out of her mouth. No, it's just like, let's walk away. Let's continue arguing. I have 20 minutes of video of us arguing after we had our little rumble in the parking lot. I still got in the car with her. I still drove with her, ended up arguing with her for 6 hours. Her parents are kicked me out. And the day of the abortion, her mom's like, are you still downstairs? I'm like, they're heartless. They're heartless. They want to fucking, even her mom thinks the worst of everything. And now she does. It's like, let's just think the worst. Me, I take the worst and build the best. And that's why we're different, because the world has treated me very harshly. I could sit here and go, woe is me, South Korean prison, homelessness, no money, abusive, jailbird. I could put it all out there and just be like, no, it's just that's no, dude. I have to take the good with the bad too. And it's not just like I'm world traveler and sleep with different women around different countries and be free, because my friends are jealous of that. They're just like, man, I wish I could just go sometimes, man. I wish I could just go. Or my other friend, he's too scared to go. He's only two things I'm afraid of, and flying is one of them. But he just went to Greece, so maybe we can get him to Thailand. And then if we get him to Thailand, maybe we can get him to America. But either way, I got friends that have capitulated and not answered the phone and just stopped answering the phone and got sad and got lonely and got weird and got depressed. I didn't do that. Okay, that's not what I did. I kept swinging, I kept fighting, and that's something that's just in me. So she wanted to quit. I think I found that I have a quitter on my team, someone that really wasn't on my team, someone that had separate teams, separate businesses the whole time, a whole separate life away from me. She already made her life decision. She had a 10-year marriage. She had 2 kids. That's her life decision. She tried to include me into this life, and it was tough for me. I remember sitting around there, and she was being ignoring me. It was some of those things I didn't even fight. It was the morning time, and she didn't even look at me. Like, she didn't even acknowledge that I was a part of the couch, bro. And this is the day you want me to meet your mom. You can't sit down with me and go, okay, this is big to me. My parents, I love them. This is a big deal. We're both pregnant. Here's where we're gonna go eat for lunch. This is what we're gonna do. No way did she ever coach me or calm me down or keep me in the game. No, 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 no. She kept isolating me and walking away from me and calling me names. And these are the pep talks that I had to deal with. And I'm supposed to smile and take it. I'm supposed to smile when I'm driving her car back from San Francisco, us together, and some dude's mean mugging me. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with that dude? Oh, by the way, oh, that was my ex-husband. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to endure ex-husbands randomly in the street. I have to deal with baby daddy drama. I got to stare at fucking kids that aren't even mine, and I have to go sleep in the fucking park because you're too afraid to show me. So I had to sleep in the park in your car, take pisses and shits out in the park because you're too embarrassed to show me and who I am. Okay, gotcha. Well, that's what I did. I was the dirty little secret that nobody wanted to talk about. I'm the unlucky dog that didn't get to win the race, and I'm still in this race, and I'm not giving up. I got to make it to Thailand. I got to make it to New Zealand. I got to make this trip work without money, without with depression, and without love. This is just it. That's what us men have to do. We are the ones that always have to still show up to work if we're getting a divorce. We're the ones that still have to fucking put bread on the table, even if the economy is down. We are the ones that still have to protect and provide, even when the girls aren't helping us protect and provide them. It's an impossible task. Being a human is. I find that to be my main message to people is it will rain on you one minute and shit on you the next. Rain or shine, we're expected to perform, and that's what I have to do. I still have to perform. I still have to find someone that doesn't have children, make children with that person, hopefully love each other, that we can communicate and not fuck up. And hopefully that'll be my piece de la resistance to all this drama, is that I still win. That I still win at my health, that I still win in my travels, that I still win with my friends. And then hopefully I can turn it around with my family, and then win a family that was supposed to heal the rest of my family. She just killed all of that. And there's no remorse from her. It's just more anger and shit throwing. I thought we would have an accord, that we would got to sit down and actually have a decent adult conversation. That didn't happen. Instead, I got told that I'm a piece of shit, and that I'm toxic. I was mentioning how toxic I was the last show, and she was like, you called me toxic just like you did. I didn't call her toxic, but she has her own toxic ways. It's like such a beautiful human being, and someone I thought would raise another beautiful human being can be quite the opposite, can be downright dirty, and can be a murderer and a killer, and could be a divorcer and a separator, and could be a name caller. You don't think that, but that's in all of us, dude. I'm not just sitting just on her. She'd love to think that the show is about her. I'm talking about all people at all moments. It could be the little old lady at the grocery store or at the bank. You're holding the door open for her, but she's addicted to gambling. You can't see it in people. It's colorblind. It's ageless. It's sexless. It happens to us all. And that's why I was just trying to be real about my show, is like, this is really what happens to us all. You're not the only one that gets divorced. My buddy, he just got divorced. He moved all the way up north for this chick, and she already got a kid, and I couldn't even go visit him because the kid's dad wouldn't pick him up, and then there wasn't a room available for me. And by the way, they're tiptoeing around each other because they're going through a divorce. Oh yeah, about that. Yeah, you know how it is when you're on FaceTime with your buddy, and there's someone always getting in the background instead of giving them privacy. They kind of become a part of the conversation. That was this chick, and guess what? They're divorced, and he's moving back. Welcome to life, bro. You're not the only one. Some may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And that's the song, you know? I'm not the only dreamer, and I'm not the only one. And unfortunately, that's how life is, and that's how, unfortunately, how my life has been. It's been a bit of a shit end of the stick, but it is my life, and I'm not the only one that has a life. I'm not the only one that's traveled the world. Not the only one with a fucking clothing brand. Not the only one that suffers. And then I take some solace on this. This rain here rains on us all, and unfortunately, that's a part of life. It will rain. It will roar. There will be fire. There will be brimstone. But I think that's just what it comes down to. With my rocky moment when I go outside today into this rain is life is about taking punches and getting back up from them. And that's the most morning motivation thing I've ever said is this is like you're gonna have to get back up from some real punches in life, and unfortunately that's a part of life. And whether there's someone to blame or someone treated you like shit or they treated you like shit, that's blame is for children. For all of us adults out there, know that these things will happen to all of us. I've seen it through multiple friends and through life, and then even in my own experience. And unfortunately, that's what had happened, and that's what did happen. And I'm going to make it happen, Captain. That's my morning motivation. On my heart from the start. Your boy Marky Saint, Saints Addiction, mostly Saints brand. Be sure to like it, subscribe to it, buy a shirt. My websites might not be working. I might not be in love, and I just lost the best opportunity I ever had in my life. And someone that I thought was to be my wife didn't see it the same, and that's my shame, and that's my guilt, and that's something I'm honest about. So no names mentioned, no emails read, none of that shit. Just know that there's gonna be some dread with the sunshine. It's not a sunny day that doesn't have a rainy day behind it, and who knows what the next wave will bring. And that's what I keep saying. So I'm gonna get into my day. You should get off of this thing. Thank you for watching. This has been over an hour. I've waited for a long time to have a morning motivation. So I digest, I digress, and I process. Peace, love. I'll see you on the other side. Ciao. Chigata.